Hi everyone, this video is part of my US Tour 2022 podcast with Andrew Millison at his home, Corvallis, Oregon, United States. We're going to learn how do we start permaculture, how to make living out of permaculture. Namaste everyone, this is Bhavani from nurture5. Here I'm sitting with Andrew Millison. I'm so honored he accepted my request and I'm here at his backyard. He is Permaculture Designer. You can watch his videos. I'll have a link with this. He's currently working in Oregon University on teaching a lot of permaculture design courses. He practices, he teaches. You should watch his videos. The reason I came here to US to attend the workshop and to conduct the workshops in US because of his one single email about ecosystem restoration workshop. So I'm really honored and happy to see you in person. Right. Thank you very much. I just wanted to cover the journey, how you started, what ignites you to be in this permaculture world.
Yeah, well, I realized that our world was not designed in a sustainable way. When I was quite a young man, I realized that things were not right and that we were on a trajectory of destruction, you might say, unless we changed course.
Yes.
And so as just a young man, I discovered permaculture and ecological design, and I got turned on immediately, and I said, this is what I want to do with my life, dedicated. So 1996 is when I took my first permaculture design course, so now 26 years ago. And I've been on this journey ever since, done a lot of design and construction work, and in more recent years, teaching and media creation, storytelling in a way. I think of myself as like a storyteller.
Very, very interesting. You should watch his videos and very informative. It's kind of an encyclopedia. If you want to see rainwater harvesting systems, you can see it like a library. You can just watch it and glance through it and practice it. That's a more practical videos. I'm really fascinated about your work.
Thank you.
And that's a smart move actually. So you haven't done anything in corporate world. So that's a really smart move in your life.
Well, you might say that I did sort of join the corporate world in a sense, because Oregon State University is like a giant corporation. But, I carved out a niche and found a way to use Oregon State University to further spread permaculture throughout the world.
That's a good contribution to any university we can think of. The generation is moving from the university. They can learn and practice and maybe preach and have a good moment in their life too.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm a newbie for agriculture. So my agricultural experience is, you can say, 5 years. I've been in corporate world for around 22 years, and started farming and inspiring farmers. And it's my one of the video where people can relate to it and understand what is permaculture design. So for the younger generation, for the newbie, anyone, doesn't matter with the age. So how do we start and where do we start and how do we go about it? We have a passion, and I do my farming and all this. I have got a little bit handle for it, but from any newbie, where do you start?
Right. Well, a good place to start is to take a permaculture design course, for one thing, for education. I don't know if your audience is mostly people from India, but just learning about the traditional ecological knowledge that is around you. That's one thing. A lot of permaculture is just understanding how nature works. And so observation of natural systems, understanding how the cold air moves and the sun moves through the landscape and the water flows and what the kind of soils are around you. Just gaining basic ecological knowledge. And then, are there people who are deeply entrenched in traditional ways? And what could you learn from the people around you that just know how people have done things for thousands of years. I mean, that's another good place to start.
Exactly. My audience are like, I'm doing it in English, so anyone can watch this video. So it's not typically to India. I also learned it because it's tied to a particular region. And if you can talk to indigenous people, and what I'm trying to do is just recreating, going back to the roots. We are not reinventing anything. Just learn the concepts, and then go to them and learn from there. Spend some time with them.
Yeah.
How do they do the permaculture?
Yeah, I mean, in a way, like permaculture is for people that have lost their way.
Yeah.
That don't have access to age-old traditional ecological knowledge practiced by native people on the landscape, which there's a lot of people in the world that are disconnected. So permaculture is like a way for people that are disconnected to find their way back to sustainable, regenerative land management, food production.
Yeah, how to grow food, and that's where you start initially. Then how to make a farm, and from there how to live out of the farm. Yeah. This brings me a great question to you. Next question is, if someone wants to leave their livelihood, whatever it could be, whether it's a corporate or a simple farmer.
Yeah.
So how do they depend on this permaculture or natural farming and get some income out of it, so they can believe this is real and they can still get that?
Yeah. Well, first off, I'd say you can do things incrementally. You don't have to just jump right into something. I mean, you can, take an hour a day and put it towards your greatest passion, and then maybe over time that 1 hour a day can be 2 hours a day, it can be 3 hours a day, where you're actually generating some income. I think the thing to realize is that a lot of people are going to be thrown into survival mode with the breakdown of global supply chains.
Yes.
With the breakdown of global shipments of fertilizers, herbicides, pesticides all over the world. We've come to rely on these things in industrial farming, but it's a fragile system, as we're seeing with COVID.
With COVID, it's a big lesson everybody had to.
And the war, the Russian war on Ukraine. I mean, supply chains are fragile, and suddenly a lot of people in different countries are going, wow, I'm having a hard time getting fertilizer. Where does my fertilizer come from? Oh, where does this come from? It's such a complex system that for a lot of people, ideally we can incrementally work our way into a more sustainable occupation. But a lot of places in the world, people are going to be thrusted into that. And this is where permaculture really has a lot of tools. But overall, I mean, the incremental thing would be like if you had a farm, you're like, okay, well, let's say you have a 7-acre farm. Yeah. Maybe you start with a 1/4 acre. Yeah.
Now I'm realizing, I started like 7-acre farm and running into it now. It's overwhelming. How do I manage it? So if I learn from like 1 acre or like 1/2 acre or 1/4 acre is the best thing, that get expertise in it and have confidence in it, learn to live with the market conditions and what you grow and how you can sell, then slowly your confidence level will grow, and then you will get a lot of clients and seeing it, and that's the way to go.
Yeah, and also if you have, let's say you have a 7-acre farm and you are farming like conventional farming, right? And you're doing fertilizers and herbicides and everything like that. Maybe you just take a 1/4 acre and you put that into fruit trees. Or, maybe, you can just take a little piece. So you don't want to disrupt your income because you need to survive.
Yes.
But maybe you take a little piece and you see, I'm going to take this little piece and I'm going to develop another income stream.
Yes.
Right? I'm going to start putting in perennials, or maybe I'm going to plant between fields. Maybe I'm going to plant a hedgerow of a perennial productive species, or maybe a timber species. Maybe I'm going to put it along this road here. I'm going to plant trees that in 30 years for my children or my grandchildren could be, maybe that's like your long-term security for your offspring, is to plant some trees that can then be harvested in some future date. So I'd say just that's kind of the incremental strategy.
I think a lot of people like me who quit the job and then they are like more into it, and then I can do it, and that's kind of feeling. But once, don't jump into it, right into it, and just do little by little. then you can.
Yeah, I mean, you have to do things that are sustainable
Yes.
for your own
Yes.
life,
Yes.
that your income can sustain. And, you know, I mean, I don't want to dampen anybody's party.
Yes.
I mean, if you're passionate, then, you know, go
Just
with
do
your
it.
passion, do it. But like, you also can think and plan and see how can, you know, like, and plan for failure as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing.
Plan for failure.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because you're not used to it, this kind of a life, this kind of working style, and everything is new completely.
Yeah.
Whatever you're doing currently. Even the conventional farmer. So for them, it's a new. When I'm teaching to the farmer, they say, "Are you kidding me? Is it real? Do I have to do this way?" I said, "Yeah, this is the better way to do it. And long term, you can see the soil reclamation. Then it's easy on you. So you don't need to really struggle that much to put everything from the external input, fertilizers and all this."
Yeah. I mean, India is lucky because traditional systems they're still there. It's not too far gone.
Yes.
Right.
You're right.
Yeah. Like
You're
India can bring it back.
Because one of my uncle was referring to always. Sometimes he asks me, "What are you doing?" And I'll tell, "Oh, this is what I'm doing." Yeah. He says, "Yeah, you just plant some nitrogen fixation, you know, some peanuts in there, here and there.
Right.
You just do some, mulching." So this is what he would advise me and say, "Oh, wow, still he remembers the stuff."
Yeah.
It's just people are not doing it, but.
I remember my first trip to India. I remember at the end of my trip, I was sitting on this rooftop talking to some people that I'd met at the permaculture conference there that I was visiting, and we just had this whole conversation. I said, India is the place that could have the permaculture revolution.
Yes.
Yeah. So
a little bit easier to do because we still have so many resources to go to and refer to, and so many places still they are doing shift cultivation in tribal movements and tribal villages. Still we can just go back and learn from them and give a helping hand for them.
Yeah. And you have Gandhi, you know, this like people work together. There's a I mean, just in the US, there's not a really big people work together kind of feeling. It's kind of a every person for themselves kind of feeling.
Yeah.
So that's a disadvantage in a time of need.
Yeah.
You know.
Yes.
People need to work together.
Yes. To work together and help with each other and share the knowledge.
Yeah.
That's where YouTube is really, it's a great invention. I love it.
I love it too, yeah.
To share the knowledge and learn from it.
Yeah.
What kind of a message you want to leave for younger generation?
Yeah. I would say there is hope.
Yeah.
You know, we can fix this. We know what we need to do. Right? And I can't wait for the younger generation to take over and the old farts to get out of the way and let the younger generation actually do what needs to be done. You know, we know how to fix the problems. We know how to restore ecosystems, restore water tables, enliven farms, and have diversity in local seeds and sustainable regenerative farm systems. And we know how to restore the most degraded landscapes, right? This has all been shown, it's all been proven, and we just need the will.
Yes.
Will,
and like a movement, people get together and just keep working on it.
Yeah.
And educating the younger generation, that's the most important.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see your sidewalk, it's all filled with the fruit trees, and I can still imagine my, just flash of my memory when I was a kid. We used to just walk on the roads and we see the fruit trees and this pick it up and then eat. That's what you're trying to do. Both the roads.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I wish that the young people would just take charge at this point.
We need to, yeah, exactly. But we need to, I think, expose to them through the education. Education system needs to be really tuned up.
Yeah. I guess the other optimistic I would say is there are jobs, there are careers, there are so many opportunities because the world is realizing the amount of work that needs to be done. There is an increasing amount of niches and opportunities for young people to make their livelihood, to earn their livelihood doing good work.
This is the next boom.
Yeah.
Rather than software now, this is what the real future work going to be.
Yeah.
You know how the IT companies have come up now, sustainable agriculture, sustainability lifestyle, and conservation of resources, natural resources, renewable energy. So this is our future, I'm realizing. When I just when I went back to India like 5 years ago, and when I talked about organic farming, so they were like really staring at me. What are you talking about? Now it's like a buzzword everywhere. So it's really spreading so easily because it's a need. We are realizing.
Oh yeah, I would just say thank you so much, Bhavani, for coming to see me here. Not many people make it all the way over to Corvallis, Oregon, but I'm really honored to be visited by you, and I'm proud to be able to show my garden off to you.
Yeah, thank you very much. I have learned by looking at his garden and how one can live, even though you have a small space, you can live. You can create a forest around you. That's the message I really want to send through my video. Thank you very much for watching, and please subscribe to my channel, nurture5. Thank you.
Namaste.
Stay tuned for next video. It's a demo of permaculture at Andrew Millison's home.